Y'all, what's up? I've been trying to load videos and crap like that. Thought I'd show y'all how I kind of make some rowels. The rowel slinger right here. So normally I cut them out by hand with the number 6, with a number 4 blade. Sometimes a number 6 blade, not the odd blades. They're thicker, and you know, gotta have my cut lube put on the blade because that steel gets pretty hot. I was making a pair of rowels for a customer, a pair of spurs that ordered. Said, man, whatever you want, you know, what do you want on them? I don't care, whatever. A gooseneck shank and rock grinder rowels. You know how I like them, he says. I said, yeah. Okay, well. So, excuse me. I decided to make, he wanted 1.5 inch, 1 3/4, so I made 1 3/4, and these are going to be, I've cut these out already, and I'm not finished with them. This is just after I get them cut out. So then I'm going to come in here and line these, and then file them, and then smooth and polish them out, and then they'll be ready to put in the spur shanks. A little history on rock grinders. You know, rock grinders is a name. It's actually a tool, and it's on grinders with the hard stone wheels. We use them to grind something and keep it on a pedestal and just smooth it out, or rough bolts or anything like that. Well, your stone would get crooked or uneven, wavy, and if you wanted to come back in there and say you wanted to just grind some rust off some metal to weld or something that you're doing a little project, it would be uneven. Well, there's a tool. I don't have the tool. I used to have one, but I found these. These are actual rock grinders. It's a metal tool with a handle on it, and it's got a little cup on the back. Or everything have a cup. It's got 2 prongs out there, and these stick in there just like this. I mean, it comes with the washers in the middle and everything. And you put it on there, and it takes that rock off. It grinds it off as it spins. And it's pretty cool. That's where the term rock grinders came from. And they're about 16 points, as you can see. That's exactly how they would be set in that tool that's like this holding them. And you'd put it up there on that wheel turning, and take your stone and flatten it back out. So a lot of guys put these in there because they're already made rowels. You just go to the hardware store and buy them, and then you don't have to build rowels. You just throw these in there, and they're pretty pokey. I mean, you know, that's people that, oh, I need some rock grinders in my spurs. Well, you better know how to ride. I wouldn't ride them, but these are a lot more pointy, and they're a lot more pokier versus the diameter of these rock grinders. As you can see, I call these rock grinders. They're just 25 point rowels, 1 3/4, 25 points. It's similar to this in design, but the thickness on these are like I'd say about 18 gauge. They're pretty thin. So these would work good in a 3/8 shank, pretty thin shank. But they're set up just like there's 4 of them, and you can't hardly. I've never found any more of these. I actually found these in a junk pile of some guy's stuff. I knew what they were, but nobody else did. The holes are bigger in them versus these. The thickness of the metal, you can see, it's pretty thin. It's gonna wobble in there, and I mean, if you roll them, this is how people are like, oh, 8 points or 50 points are too aggressive. Bullshit. Because here's how my test is. I would consider this right here pretty sensitive on a person. You can roll that on your. You can push down hard if you want. It's got a little bit of. But when I round all those off and get them smooth, but you roll that thing down on you, that's pretty pokey. You jab something with it, it's gonna move. Versus those aren't as aggressive as, say, these right here. shoot, man, these right here, man, those are 6 points a pop. I mean, it's going to be pretty touchy. And you all that space in between there, that's going to be pretty bad. So it's definitely going to be, I would say that'd be more, that 6 or 8 points are going to be a little bit more aggressive than these little bitty rowels are, you know, like a lot of rope and spurs are 3/4 and real small and 1 inch. This is about 1 1/4 inch big. The little bitty rowels are actually as pokey as those 6s and 8s. When you get them pizza cutter rowels, this is like what I like to say, like a 30 point that's pretty big, but they're not as aggressive, I don't think, just from my experience. I ride a 8-point clover leaves. That's fine. That's fine for me. It does what I need to do. Don't usually try to get in a bind on that. And I asked a lot of people that questions. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to be rude. You know, you ever rode 6-point spurs, 8-point spurs? I know they look cool, but you know they can get you. They can get you a 9-line bind sometimes. You ain't paying attention, especially on a colt or something. You gig one, not paying attention, you jump out from underneath you, go to bucking. So you just get kind of, you know what you riding all the time, and you know how to ride. I ain't worried about that. That's not my. I just don't want a guy coming back to me. Oh, these spurs get me bucked off. That don't usually happen, but you know it could happen. Hey, my problem. You ordered them. Just know what you order and know what you want. So ain't nobody be mad at but yourself if you don't know what you want and what you're used to riding. But anyways, I'm not trying to be mean or nothing. It's just the truth. And I'd ride them. I rode those 6s. Whew, I had to be a little careful. They kind of got to moving around on me. I was like, whew, I can't be jabbing on them as hard as I did with my clover leaves. But you know, some guys want that quick response like that, and I understand that. But like I said, I've cut this 25 out, and it's 10 gauge versus like 16. So it's pretty thin stuff. Those little bitty thin ones will bend and wear out pretty fast. And then I cut it from there. This was after, and that's what it is before. You know, there you go. Pretty simple. Sticky paper. You can draw on a piece of paper and super glue it. That usually lasts pretty damn good. Or I've even drawn on the metal and then engraved my lines or scribed my lines and followed my lines if it's something that I don't know. But I get in there and just go down there and get after it. On these thin rowels, I cut out the excess on my bandsaw because I have before I had a bandsaw. I'd use this saw all the way around the rowels, and that takes lots of time. But you got to do what you got to do. Come on over to the other side. You follow it around and cut it out with this. You don't have a bandsaw. It's a pain in the butt, and it takes a lot of time. But I would tell you, on those 50-point rowels, it was crazy because it gets tiring sawing this metal. You know, you saw for a while, and your arm gets just jelly. You got to quit for a while and go do something else, and because if you get lazy on the saw on these, and you may break a lot more blades, or you'll cut crooked and you'll screw up something. Not as, you know, you can usually catch it before. You'll pop blades. Sometimes it's good to wear some glasses or something. When these blades can break and pop back into your eye. You don't think about that till it happens. But I've had some pop and hit me right here, and I'm like, oh shoot, you know. So just gotta be mindful of the safety a little bit. But I mean, that's cut down, and I'm gonna come over and I'm gonna cut back into it, and I'll go all the way around till it's done. And that's how I make those. And the 50-point rowels, you know, I'm gonna have to come back in here and scribe the lines, and then hit them with the chisel, and I'll go back in and I'll hand file those with a several square files or triangle files. Depending on what size they are, I've got all different kinds of sizes of those, and I'll go in there and count my lines, and I'll make sure every one of them gets a good bite, tears out enough metal to run back through. So that's kind of basics of that. But the 50-point rowels, I had 50 points in between there, 10 file strokes per line, 2 sides, so that's like 4,000 strokes on those spurs that are on my profile picture. The dancing storyline spurs, it took a long time to build those, and you know, the tips of them they're filed like that on both sides. I don't cut the corners and just do one. I'll do both sides. Why not? I'm gonna do it right. So, like this is it. That's pretty much how I do it. Some thicker, broader points, you know, I can get in there with a bandsaw, but I still have to go back in these centers and file down in there and get all those scratches out. You know, you could straight put this right in a spur right now and build it, but it wouldn't look good. It'd look plain. It wouldn't be definition in the rowel and the points. And I think that's why I like building spurs. I think rowels are the focal point of a spur. It's what people notice, and the more points you have on things and you temper them, they're gonna have a good ring to them, and a little bit more where they get into them. You know, they're gonna have. It's like tuning forks. Now, that sounds pretty cool, especially when you're walking. You know, when you're walking and you hear that. Who's that? That's always cool. So, tuning forks, and the hotter you get them and quench them, and they get their own ring in tone. And I drilled my pilot hole out before. I keep this wide so I can hold it. If it gets real tiny, I'll put a bolt in there and I'll tighten that thing down, and then I'll get back here and I can really get down on it and go to sawing. That's how I build these rowels. It's time consuming, but the end results are pretty neat. And that's it. That's basically how I build these rowels. So I got a lot of pieces of metal laying around here and saw blade pieces. I sweep up every now and then. Sometimes I don't even worry about it, just because I got time. So, anyways, a little history on the rock grinders. I've had people ask me about, you know, I want rock grinders in my stuff. And I'm like, okay. I don't know too many people that ride those anymore. But that's a history of a rock grinder and how it came to be. I'm pretty sure. I mean, why would you call this a rock grinder? Because it was a tool, and that's what they look like. And like I said, a little history right there for people that just don't know. Because a lot of people call them rock grinders don't even know what the hell a rock grinder is. They think, oh, it's just, you know, they're right there, it grinds rocks. No, it does. It'll grind rock. That straightens them up. So, and like I said, it'll make a horse move out. But anyways, I hope that was a little bit information to kind of let y'all know what's going on up in here. And rock grinders. So, anyways, alright, I'll talk to y'all later. I got some more videos that are loading. I'm still having trouble with the longer ones. But we'll get them out. I'll figure it out, man. I'll get it done. So, talk to y'all later.